I'll go to look at a blank wall that's just boring and flat, and then you can go and send someone to a different country or send them off into a beautiful countryside that inspires some sort of sense of wonder and lets them dream a little or get their head out of the place or the situation they're in. It's very spiritual for me, actually.
Adam and I, working together, obviously brothers, we spend a lot of time together, and that really helps us when we're painting. Not only are you painting together, you also have to match each other's style. It can't look like two people have painted the same thing. Otherwise, it just wouldn't look good. So both of us have sort of settled on a look that each one is comfortable with, and we both will also sometimes paint over each other's stuff so that it looks like one hand's done it. It's something I don't see a lot of other artists doing, you know, because a lot of work is able to be handled by just one person, but because of scale, I mean, these are multi-person jobs, you know.
I love painting. Murals are really exciting for me. I flip out when I get to paint something this big and I get to move around and experience the painting almost life-size or sometimes bigger than life.
We used to paint for 6 to 7 days a week for like 10 to 11 hours a day, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we did that for almost a decade or more. And you get tired. You get really tired. You don't meet a lot of old muralists because most people retire. It gets pretty tough. On some murals, there are hundreds of thousands of brush strokes, you know what I mean? Climbing up and down ladders and just physically standing all day. It's not your typical, like, I'm in my little studio experience with a little teeny tiny brush doing little teeny tiny brush strokes like it's a full body exercise. And part of that allows you to sort of disconnect and get in the flow. But it does take its toll on you, and so you do have to have a lot of determination. Paints are one of those things that they're just another tool. You do get to know them and the way they behave. Some colors, if you mix them with white, they'll push a different color versus they'll push maybe greener or bluer if you're adding white to them. All that knowledge you kind of accumulate, and then you know how to manipulate it, and you don't even have to think about it anymore after a while.
We always like to keep the viewer in mind. The optimal viewing point, like this one's going to be 15 feet up in the air. So obviously the details are not as important as much as how it reads from that distance, because you can paint a bunch of details in a painting and then you step back 15, 20 steps and you've lost all those details, and you've also impacted the contrast to the point where it doesn't read as well. So sometimes you have to keep that in mind, where your viewer is going to be and where their eye is going to go and what tools you can use to draw their eye where you want it, painting towards the right goal. It's very easy to get caught up in one spot and not understand the big picture. So we do our best to try to remember the big picture as we paint along.
We'll generally work background to foreground. We'll vary the tones accordingly. So trees that are far away, they'll sort of have more of a muted, hazy quality to them. And then as we work our way forward, we'll use more and more darks. The brighters will get brighter, the darks will get darker. And that basically allows us to create that depth so that people can kind of see more distance in the painting.
Nature is really kind of just a part of us, and we can see it easily, thankfully, for given what we do so much. We can sometimes bring these things just out of our imagination and give them even a little more oomph or magic, just because we've experienced so many different natural settings that those little magical moments kind of get ingrained in your mind, and you take them with you. So a lot of times in my life when I've been stressed or experiencing something that's traumatic, when you feel like the world's on top of you, it just goes away as soon as I start making something or painting. And there's a lot of people that have had a lot of life experiences that make them thankful for being here and having another breath and another chance to do something that I think if people can find some way of being thankful and appreciating that they get to do something special, they'll be a lot more likely to get through whatever creative issues they're having. Give yourself a challenge that you have to work through, and the pressure of that challenge will force you out of that block that you're in. And sometimes that helps. I think change of attitude, sometimes just being grateful for what you have and what you can do, that you get to create. I had cancer in 2008, and I will tell you that I was about burnt out painting. I was in Canada, in Calgary, and I found a lump in my leg, and I was scared to death. But in the meantime, waiting to find out if I was going to be okay, sitting there going and doing radiation and trying to recover from my surgery and everything like that, I was so anxious. I was like, there's so much life to live and so many things I want to do and so many goals. I was begging my clients to let me come and paint, even though I'd just gotten out of surgery and everything like that. Aaron was in California when I had cancer, but he would sit on his webcam and just sit there and watch me cry and listen to me. And that helped so much. I had been working very, very hard, and I was wearing down. I loved it. I was just very tired, and that little time off, when I got back, I was painting even better than before, and I hadn't been painting that whole time. And I think it's just that joy to get to do what you've always done, but for a little bit there, you thought, oh, I might never get to do this again.
I'm just thankful to have him here and to be able to spend all this time together still, working together and just being brothers. I hope that we'll always put being brothers ahead of being artists. I think that's very important. Oh, I've wanted to quit mural painting many times. Many times, sometimes multiple times a day. I mean, it's really challenging, and I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just that I find myself still painting, I mean, art, like stuff like the painting is time. I mean, this is my life that I'm sitting here doing, so I better make it count if I'm gonna spend my life on it, I just think wherever your mind leads you, I don't think you should be afraid creatively to pursue that, even if it's not what people expect you to be doing.
If you love doing something, it's worth doing.
Yeah, our society wants to put people in boxes. And people aren't boxes, you know. We're multifaceted. We're more like diamonds than we are boxes, you know.
I think I'm still growing. That's the beautiful part about art and painting. You can always be getting better, being a craftsman and making something with my hands, bringing something to this earth rather than just taking from this earth. I think I'll probably be doing something like this the rest of my life.